Hey guys, it's Lee, LavaShot449. I just wanted to take the very beginning of this video to apologize about the incessive rambling that I do in the beginning when explaining the build. I'm not normally used to doing recordings like this. I have been wanting to for a while. I will get my sea legs under me eventually and be able to do this more concisely. I'll probably have a second monitor up with a script so that I can read this pretty consistently and not sound like a ramble monster. Um, the gameplay at the end, I do have audio on. You guys can hear my sort of train of thought. It does not go as well as I'd want to. I will do some changes to the build, but I will give, some context in some text on the screen as you know, as the video rolls into the gameplay in the background. So thank you guys so much for bearing with me on this. I know it's a pretty big ramble, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. Friends, Titans, Crayon Eaters, lend me your ears. I have found probably one of my favorite Titan builds ever, and this build is inexpensive. It does not require a whole lot of dungeon or raid exotics to use. In fact, none of the weapons that you need are required to do any dungeons or raid except for one if you want to be the most optimal. And I will explain a sort of workaround that you can get if you don't want to use the dungeon weapon that I'm using, or the raid weapon that I'm using. But let me show you the build, because I think this is a insanely strong build for both solo and group play. I'll have gameplay footage at the very end of this with ultimate difficulty solo ops with every negative modifier under the sun. Trust me, I was not happy with this. Got a little close at the very end, but the gameplay was pretty good regardless. There was one close call, but I managed to clutch it out. Would have been insanely stupid if I had died there. But we are on a behemoth. We're on stasis. Why? Well, Howl of the Storm and Tectonic Harvest got better with the Monuments of Triumph update. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to explain. Let me run through everything here, and I'll run through subclass or aspects, fragment, weapons, armor, and then I'll explain the artifact at the end, and it'll all come together. Obviously, we're on Stasis Titan. I have gone back and forth between whether I want Rally Barricade or Towering Barricade. You probably want Rally Barricade if you're doing group play, and Towering Barricade if you're doing solo play. Towering Barricade for solo play because you don't really have a whole lot of healing outside of picking up stasis crystals, and occasionally picking up an orb. But with Rally Barricade, you're doing it mainly for DPS with your fire team, but for solo play I would probably stick to Towering Barricade. Your grenade can be one of three options. You can do Dustfield Grenade if you feel like you are more weak to overloads. I have since changed the heavy weapon. You'll see the heavy weapon in the gameplay footage is not what I'm currently running right now. But just know that I have had that, heavy weapon on for a while, and I just realized that I could probably change it over. So rest assured that the heavy weapon has changed. I will still probably use the heavy that you're going to see in the gameplay footage more consistently. But for that, solo op, I probably should have swapped to a different weapon. But you can do Dustfield Grenade if you feel like you're more weak to overloads. Glacier Grenade is what I use in the gameplay footage, but you can also use Shatter Grenade. I find Shatter Grenades really good if you are able to freeze a large group of, if your ad clear is already good. This deals primarily with unstops, being able to throw a Shatter Grenade and freeze them instantly because it freezes on impact. So you're able to freeze and unstop and at least buy yourself a couple of seconds to set up for the stasis slide. But I would say the safe bet's probably Dustfield Grenade. Middle pack sort of you can use this if you are pretty good with the build. It's probably Shatter Grenade, and then if you just want to go full Giga Chad, just Glacier Grenade. Cold Snaps, I've tried Cold Snaps. They're not good. The cooldown's too long. 256 is really long. I know, I mean, 212 on Dustfield nades and 256 on Glacier nades, but Cold Snap grenades are really long cooldown for not a whole lot of benefit. This is better on Warlock, where you have things like the arms for Warlock that give you an extra Cold Snap grenade. And then just Frost Pulse in general is really good on Stasis Warlock if you're going to go with the Stasis Warlock build. But for the most part, I would say probably Dustfield Grenade or Shatter Grenade. And if you're really well versed with the build like I am, and you'll see in the gameplay footage, I am on Glacier Grenade. Aspects, Howl of the Storm, it's the slide melee for Stasis Titans. Solar Titans have Consecration. We have Howl of the Storm for Stasis. All it does is you uppercut and you make a bunch of Stasis Crystals. I'll get to why that matters in a second. But just know that it also grants you an additional melee charge, which is really good. Having 2 melee charges is really good for the way that you get your melee energy back. You can just burn a melee charge for movement. And I actually do in one of the I think in the gameplay footage, I think I do burn a melee charge to be faster. And then Tectonic Harvest got changed a couple of years ago, where picking up a Stasis Shard grants you stacks of Frost Armor, which is 7% damage reduction per stack of Frost Armor. You go up to 6, it's either 6 or 7, 6 or 7 stacks of Frost Armor. So that's at upwards of like 45% damage reduction. Or 49% damage reduction, 35 or 49, depending on if it's the 6 stacks or 7. I can't remember off the top of my head. Taking damage while you have Frost Armor generates melee energy, which is perfect because you just want to be spamming melees as much as possible. You don't actually want to invest into your melee stat because you get so much melee energy back. You're normally just wanting to primarily focus on super, which you'll see in the when we go talk about the armor and the stats. You'll see that I have a bunch of Paragon set to get as much super as possible. I like the fact that even if the Stasis Shards from Glacial Quake don't necessarily get the full benefit of 200 super, it's just nice to have an increased amount of super energy gained whenever you would gain super energy, and you do gain a lot of it. Having your super up quite often is really good for bursting big bosses. The defeating combatants with stasis or kinetic weapons don't really matter. It doesn't actually, I don't think it matters unless you are switching to the fusion rifle that I'm using. You'll see here in a second. But for the most part, the middle part's irrelevant. It's just picking up a Stasis Shard grants you Frost Armor, and taking damage while you have Frost Armor grants melee energy. Yeah. Fragments is Whisper of Hunger. This is the big one. You get extra melee energy for picking up Stasis Shards. Yes, it does reduce your melee by 20, but that's fine because, like I said, you're not wanting to spec into melee as often. Like, you're not wanting to highly invest into melee. You just want a decent amount. I think I'm hovering around like 80, I think, which is fine. 200 super, 80 melee is perfect. You're wanting this because the melee energy that you gain from picking up a stasis crystal is like insane. I think it's like 4 or 5 stasis shards get you your melee back, and you make about 8 or 9, so you're about getting both of your melees back. Whisper of Conduction, because stasis tracking is insane. You want to pick up your shards as much as possible, and just having them track to you is like invaluable. Whisper of Rhyme to increase your duration on Frost Armor and your stack count. Normally it's 5, I think it's 5 stacks, and Frost Armor used to go away all at once. Now it trickles down, so it removes the stack every single time that the timer ticks off. But instead of 5 seconds of Frost Armor, you get 6 seconds of Frost Armor. That 1 second is actually not as, bad as you think it would be. Like, yes, it's only 1 second, but trust me, that 1 second is crazy good. Crazy good. And then getting extra stat count on Frost Armor is insane for the damage reduction. You see me at the end of the gameplay footage. I am tanking a boss that I realistically should have just died to. The modifiers and the fact that it's a boss and a very fast hitting boss at that should have killed me. But the combination of picking up a stasis shard, which gives you 10 health every time you pick it up, and the damage reduction from Frost Armor, it means I just heal through most damage. And then Whisper Fissures just to increase the explosions of everything stasis related. Stasis crystals being destroyed, stasis or freezing targets just in general. The explosions are really good. You'll see actually one of the memes in the gameplay footage is that I didn't think that I hit the stasis crystal with the weapon that I'm using and I didn't kill the goblin in front of me. And I was like, oh God. And then I hit it again and he just exploded. And I'm like, okay, never mind. We're good. Weapons. This is the raid weapon that I was talking about. This is Deliverance. This is the fusion rifle from Vow of the Disciple. It's insane if you can get it. If not, I'll give you a workaround here in a second. But for the most part, it's a fusion rifle and it's stasis. So you get the bonuses from stasis surge, which I think I don't know if I have stasis surge on my legs. I will change it if I do, or if I don't. And the fact that this technically does trigger tectonic harvests, dealing damage with stasis or getting kills with stasis weapons. But for the most part, you want it because it gets chill clip. Chill clip slows on the first hit and freezes on the second, and freeze leads to shatters. So you get to stun overloads with the slow, unstops with the freeze, and then this is naturally intrinsic anti-barrier. So this weapon basically covers all three of your champions. For the most part, overloads don't really matter. Unstops don't matter at all. Barriers are the hardest problem, which is why I like using a fusion rifle. Because one burst will break the barrier, or break the shield. So I like having the fusion rifle for breaking barrier shields. And it's also just a good workhorse weapon. It gets access to Demolitionist, which is really good to get your grenades back. And you also just, if you have the chance to throw a grenade to auto reload the weapon, it's really good. This gun has really bad reload speed. I've noticed the reload speed's awful on this weapon. So anything that you can use to reload the weapon without having to manually reload it is good. You're probably wondering why I don't spec into reload speed. The problem with that is that this gun also has really bad charge time. So I spec this into being a charge time gun. So I have accelerated coils and enhanced charge time, and this gun is naturally this is a craftable weapon, so you can go to the Enclave and craft this. I crafted this with charge speed or charge time because I want the charge time more than I want anything else. Soul Drinker is fine. You don't really trigger Soul Drinker often, but it's just chill clip and demo is a really good workhorse for builds that aren't necessarily heavily specking into melee or grenades. And then you just have, increased range and faster charge time and a charge time masterwork or a charge time mod. Fighting Lion, I swear to God, you only see this gun in Crucible. I swear when I tell you this gun's insane. For reference, I've put 1,300 kills over this gun in a week. This gun's insane. The biggest thing that you care about is rapid final blows against grenade damage combatants refill the magazine, and then direct hits do increase damage and cause the targets to become volatile. There's one explosion of a volatile explosion, and then they are also just volatile after. But being frozen by the stasis melee, or a glacier grenade is insane for reloading the gun. It's like you'll see it auto reloads the gun most times. So you get like 2 or 3 shots of Fighting Lion, which is great because the volatile explosion is really strong for killing ads. The catalyst does nothing. Basically, you just get some handling and accuracy. It's going to be really nice when I swap to the weapon. Speaking of, I am using a VS Chill inhibitor. It's the rapid fire frame from, I believe, the Vesper's Host dungeon. I believe so. This just has attrition orbs and elemental honing. You probably want explosive light or chill clip Actually, I didn't even realize it got chill clip. So yeah, this is gonna be another chill clip weapon. Um, it has augmented drum and countermass. The rolls are really bad, but it could be a lot better. I just have, magazine, a backup mag mod and velocity on it. It's okay. The gun that you'll see me using is um a eager edge cold steel slammer. It's basically falling guillotine, but the stasis version. It's got pretty bad rolls on it, but it rolled eager edge and cold steel, so that's why I keep it. It's not tier 5. I can't make it tier 5. Um, because it's only tier 3 because it's technically a craftable or an adapt weapon. Um, so I can't get a enhanced backup mag mod on it, but if I could, I actually can. Never mind. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. I should have realized that to begin with. Um, I I'm gonna switch the VS Chill inhibitor for most content unless I know that I'm not gonna be burdened by having an eager edge sword on. If it's barrier unstop, I'm gonna switch to slammer. But if it's overload, I'm gonna switch to VS Chill inhibitor. The barrier weapon that you can use to deal with content instead of deliverance is a really good service revolver. Mine has stopping power and kinetic tremors on it. It's a really good workhorse build, or a really good workhorse weapon. I know I said that a lot, but the deliverance and service revolver are insane. Stopping power just makes everything about the gun deal more damage to low health targets, and stagger people. um this boosts the damage versus low health targets, which most of your barriers are gonna be. So if you can get a barrier in a stopping power range, you're gonna tear through its shields. And then it has kinetic tremors, just because kinetic tremors is insane, and this is my favorite perk, and I love kinetic tremors. Backup mag, range masterwork, arrowhead break tac mag. The reload speed's bad on this. It's insanely bad. I'm almost tempted to go outlaw or rapid hit depending on the content, but for the most part, it does have rapid hit mega kill clip, which I know is a really good build, a really good perk combination that a lot of people are liking. I really like kinetic tremors, that's why I'm using it. If I had a magazine, if I could choose the magazine mod, I'd want armor piercing rounds because it just makes me deal a little bit of extra damage to barriers. Barriers are your biggest issue. That's the big problem. For armor, we are on 4-piece 7th Seraph from the Cosmodrome. 2-piece just gives you Warmind charges when you get final blows with area of effect damage. So that's stasis shatter, stasis crystal explosions, explosions from Fighting Lion, the volatile explosion from Fighting Lion, the kinetic ordnance from the artifact. You have a lot of ways of making or of getting Warmind charges. The 4-piece is the really big thing, which is when you have a Warmind charge, defeating yellow health bar enemies or above, destroying stasis crystals or destroying a tangle, deals a little solar detonation and heals you. It's just added healing. It's insane. I can't begin to tell you how much this set has saved me over my gameplays. You'll see there's a couple of instances where I should have died, but Rasputin's Reprisal kicked in and healed me a little bit because we are on Brawn. So healing is at an all-time high. Like I said, we're on Paragon, so we're trying to spec into super as much because I just want as much super energy as possible because Behemoth Glacial Quake is insane for boss DPS. Melee gets the secondary. I need to change my helmet over. Ooh, excuse me. I need to farm a Colossus, or not a Colossus on this. I need to farm a Paragon helmet. I just have been getting unlucky with it. Synthos is the main exotic. I don't really see a reason why you could do Horror Frosty. I don't like Horror Frosty, but I think Synthos is just the greatest, thing that you could be doing for general, very specific Titan damage. You get extra melee and super damage and reload speed on all your weapons when you're surrounded, which is often in content, especially when you're doing solo content. Void Loader is specifically for Fighting Lion. Heavy-handed, because technically the stasis melee counts as a powered melee, although it doesn't sometimes, but you can make orbs of power. Impact Induction for the same reason. You're just going to get your grenade back really quickly. Helmet mod is just hands-on, heavy. You probably can swap to special, but I run a special finisher, so I have special pretty much whenever I want. But heavy hands-on for extra super energy on melee kills. Chestplate is just one of each of the resistance mods. No shock there. Legs do not have stasis weapon surge, so we will change that there. I actually want orbs of resto here, but elemental charge, picking up stasis shards has a chance to give you armor charge, which is how you generate 90% of your armor charge. Obviously, stasis weapon surge because you have deliverance and VS chill inhibitor slash slammer, and then orbs of restoration just to get you a little bit of extra ability energy back. You're pretty much consistently not having a barrier or a grenade, so it's just a coin toss on which one's the lowest. And then on the mark, we're running time dilation for extra armor charge so that we can keep the stasis surge going longer and have extra armor charge to be able to combo into a special finisher. And then distribution, just so we can get a little bit of ability energy back. It's not really the best. You could probably do something like a class font if you want, or something like a proximity ward if you want. I'm probably going to do proximity ward over distribution, just because we do like the finisher often because it triggers special finisher, especially on champions. Being able to not have to die to a bunch of enemies around you is really good. And then finally, for the artifact, it's really simple. If it says stasis, put it on. It says stasis or grenade launchers, put it on. Wind chill hits against float or frozen targets also create a stasis shard. You're going to be making, like I said, 8 or 9, sometimes up to 11 stasis shards. You just want as many as you can get. It's like ionic traces for Warlock. You just want as many as you can get. Crystalline converter makes your melee create stasis crystals, which is great. Weaken clear gives you weakening on grenade launcher hits, which Fighting Lion is. It's 20% extra damage. Frost renewal, you get a little bit of extra frost armor if you're not already at max, which you normally are, when you hit critical damage, and you also freeze enemies around you, so you get a little bit of a getaway, there. Hail the Storm is probably the biggest one. Shattering stasis crystals release ice shards that slow targets, and shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals deal increased damage. This is how you cook most of your bosses. The ice shards are how you deal with most of your ads. Served cold, you just get a shit ton of a class ability energy for picking up a stasis shard, and then kinetic impacts just to get that extra shockwave like I was talking about earlier. That is the build itself. Like I said, you're going to see in the video that I'm using a sword that has since been changed to VS chill inhibitor. But I'm going to let the gameplay run in the background. You guys are going to enjoy it. It's nail biting. I have a couple of memes. I'm still sort of, at the time of recording this, I had to re-record the intro and the build itself because I rambled a little bit too much. Shocker. But as of recording this, I'm still editing the memes into it, so I hope you guys enjoy those. Give a like for your boy Darth Vader, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace. Jesus Christ, dude. All right, let's fucking do this. This is gonna be the worst thing ever. So, fucking, why did I do this to myself? All right, it's fucking shocking cascade. It's barrier unstop or barrier overload. Fucking void threat 6. So I'm gonna get fucking cooked by everything and their mother.
Correct!
Melees slow me, splash damage is increased. I have to match shields. Might actually not do match shields because I think match shields is just kind of fucked. I'll do arc pools, it's fine. Arc pools. And then fucking moderately reduced damage. I'm under pressure cooker and extinction. Obviously no HUD. My loadout's locked. And I have brawn on with no modifiers.
I'm in danger!
If anyone wants to tell me that this build isn't fucking insane, I don't know what is. Alright, let's fucking do this. This might not even make it into the video, but God willing. God willing, I'm gonna cook some motherfuckers. Probably should have swapped to Dustfield for this. Either Dustfield or fucking Cold Snap so I can freeze the barriers early. It's only creation, but it's still creation. ultimate with every modifier under the sun. I feel like I'm gonna get one shot by everything and their mother. Oh my god. No, never mind, okay.
Great success.
Never mind, okay, we're good. Cool. Every sync plate touch is like 2% more than I'm getting. I don't think I'm gonna get barriers here, but I don't think I get champions. Really? I don't think I get barriers yet. I hit the I think that should be everything. If not, there's probably like a row of people that spawn over in the corner over there. Oh shit, okay. Is that it? I just realized I don't really have good weapons to kill the what's it called? Wait! There's a Minotaur under me. Cutie. I just realized I don't really have a good weapon to deal with the things down here. I sort of probably have to just farm enemies. I'm just gonna let this hit me. And then I'll stasis melee out of it.
I'm learning.
Oh my god, it takes 2 fucking shots. I'm not gonna have enough ammo. Really? Yeah, and I need my... Okay, I gotta get finishers then. Oh, I can stasis crystal these? Okay. That does save me a little bit of ammo, I guess.
No! It's one of those situations.
Problem is I'm not training enough special ammo.
Oh no!
Oh my god. Never again, dude. I think I'm gonna do this to heal a little bit. Is there any more that I missed? I don't think so. No, because there's the one on here. And there's one there, one there. I think there's like one in the corner. Oh, this is going to be bad. Okay. I didn't think that was going to kill him. That will just kill me, I think. Alright. I still have 3 minutes to go, and I just gotta kill the stupid idiots. I should have actually been a little more smarter with this. It is what it is. I hear a barrier? A barrier or an overload? Interesting. I didn't have enough. Still getting the movement tech down. Still getting the movement tech down. I don't think I can do this in 2.5. Unless I like absolutely shatter this dude's kneecaps like right here, right now. And don't auto die to the fact that he is a Hydra buffed by X6 Void. I should use this as cover. problem is I know that there's going to be a chicken. Fanatics I don't care about. Barriers I'm also less worried about. It's the fucking chickens.
I don't like where this is going.
Done. Woo! Scary.